I've seen some pathetic teams really make the Super Bowl, right? Or some pathetic Super Bowl appearances, but the Patriots one was by far the worst one. And I've seen the Broncos Seahawks one, I've seen the Panthers, get absolutely humiliated by the Broncos. I've seen plenty of them, plenty of trash Super Bowls, but this one takes the cake, man. Patriots deserve no part of being a participant in this Super Bowl, and everybody knew that the Patriots stood no chance against the Seahawks, who had no absolute flaws. Meanwhile, the Patriots had an absolute blessing of a schedule, man. Drake May and Mike Rabel should be at a lottery, should be buying lottery tickets with how lucky they got. They played the Justin Herbert Chargers, who have no absolute DNA of winning playoff games. Not only that, he had a couple guys on the O-line injured who were a part of the Pro Bowl. So you go and beat the Chargers, right? Pathetic from the Chargers. Then you play the Texans, who CJ Stroud was absolutely awful, god awful. And not only that, Nico Collins got hurt against the Steelers, out for that game. Schultz, the starting tight end, hurt in the second quarter. And then I'm also going to throw this in here. Tank Dell has a broken leg. And honestly, CJ Stroud, ever since Tank Dell has had a broken leg, has looked like an absolute backup quarterback. I think that Tank Dell had the effect that Shaheen has for the Seahawks, where he opens up the field, which allows all the other targets to have more space, and then CJ Stroud isn't used to the amount of pressure and coverage that Nico Collins and Schultz get. And Brandon Cooks is, they got Christian Kirk and whatever, but it's just not the same as Tank Dell, who he had been targeting for a majority of his career. So I think that's really the reason why CJ Stroud has been bad. And then you go up against Jared Stidham, who couldn't even get the starting job with the 5-win Raiders. Then they put him in a snow globe as well. Honestly, I'm honest to God, if it wouldn't have been a absolute snowstorm in the Broncos game, I think the Broncos had a very good chance of beating the Patriots, and they would have put up a way better fight with Jarrett Stidham as their quarterback in the Super Bowl than the Patriots did, because they really went out for a participation trophy. Now, Stephon Diggs, on the other hand, you are an absolute loser. You went out there hyped up, saying, "Oh yeah, man, I'm in my first Super Bowl appearance. I'm really gonna make a difference." Nah, man. You lost your girl, no ring, over 5 kids, jail time pending. You ran away to Cancun because you knew the cops are gonna be on you. Now you gotta really pray to Robert Kraft that he is on your side after that humiliation of a performance you gave him in the Super Bowl. My man has been delaying your jail time as if he's Sal Goodman, and you couldn't even catch a touchdown for him. I forgot Stephon Diggs was on the team, man, for the first 3 quarters. Every time it was either Hollins or Booty getting all the targets, while Drake May is fighting for his life. Meanwhile, Stephon Diggs is what fighting with Cardi B on the sideline because he wasn't on the field. But end of the day, this was Drake May's playoff log. Honestly, kind of pathetic. First game, 86 yards, 10 for 21. You did not really perform all that great to be an MVP caliber player. Apparently he was a vote away for the MVP, but to me, Stafford is 10 times the player that Drake May was and will be. Then he ends up getting, 3 tubs, an interception, and, it's just not great performances all throughout. I'm just not seeing him be that great. If you put this on Tom Brady or you put this on Mahomes or anything of that, they're getting an extreme amount of hate, and they're like, how the hell do you have this reputation? But Drake May, coming in, they're gonna say he's young and whatnot. But I'm just saying this right now, Drake May, to me, he's becoming overrated. He was playing out of his depth, if that makes sense. Got to the playoffs, became a shell of himself. But at the end of the day, if you really rank the Patriots, right, amongst AFC teams before the playoffs started, they were not even in my top 5. They were not, because the Broncos were a better team. The Bills and Jags were better teams. I think the Texans fully healthy was a better team. I'll even go out on a limb and say, honestly, the Steelers beat them. And I'm a Steelers fan, and I can't stand our team, but the Steelers did beat the Patriots in the regular season. So to me, maybe you're better than the Chargers. but you're not better than the rest of the 5 teams, and you got severely blessed with such an easy schedule, injuries, and whatnot. And then here comes Drake May throwing a stinker. You might see 295 yards, but that was just all garbage time points. That's like when James Harden was dropping, 35 points, but in the first 3 quarters he had 15, and then the fourth quarter down 20. Boom, he's getting free throws, hitting meaningless threes, and you still lose by 20, right? But hey, he got 35 points with like 25% field goal percentage. So it really doesn't mean anything. When it mattered most, Drake May was turning over the ball, throwing meaningless stacks, or throwing meaningless interceptions. Just absolutely pathetic. And if I were him, I would feel severely disappointed because I don't see the Patriots returning to the Super Bowl, well less the championship game in the next 5 years, unless they really go out and get some elite receivers. No more Stephon Diggs with baby mama trouble. You need to go out there and really look at AJ Brown, look at all these other potential receivers, because Hollins, Diggs, and Booty being your top 3 guys, you're not only are you setting him up for failure, you also got Will Campbell, who should be working for Amazon with his own logic, just letting anybody come and harass Drake May.